Florida, a land where the sun seems never to set, where palm trees sway along endless coastlines, and where the past lingers beneath every wave and whisper of wind. Its story is as vibrant as its legendary sunsets, a tale woven from ancient traditions, bold exploration, fierce conflict, and relentless reinvention. From the earliest days of indigenous mastery to the roaring engines of spaceflight, the history of Florida is nothing short of epic. Long before European sails appeared on the horizon, Florida was a world unto itself. The Timucua, Calusa, Appalachia, and later the Seminole called this place home. They built thriving societies along the rivers, marshes, and coasts, adapting ingeniously to a landscape of wetlands, mangroves, and forests. The Calusa, known as the Shell People, constructed massive mounds and islands from shells, creating complex communities that stood for centuries. The Timucua cultivated maize and fished the abundant waterways, leaving behind mysterious earthworks and vibrant cave art. The Seminole, arriving later, would become symbols of resistance, their story intertwined with the wild heart of the Everglades. For thousands of years, these indigenous peoples flourished, their lives shaped by the rhythms of the land and sea. They developed intricate trade networks, spiritual traditions, and unique art, each group leaving a distinct mark on Florida's ancient tapestry. But the arrival of outsiders would soon change everything. In 1513, Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de León sailed into the unknown, landing on Florida's shores and naming it La Florida, the land of flowers. Legends swirled around his journey, most famously the tale of the Fountain of Youth, a mythical spring said to restore youth to those who drank from it. While the truth behind this legend remains elusive, there's no doubt that Ponce de León's arrival marked the beginning of a new chapter for Florida. The Spanish came seeking gold, glory, and new lands for their empire, but they found a place both enchanting and perilous. Swamps teemed with alligators, storms battered their ships, and indigenous resistance was fierce. Despite these challenges, the Spanish established missions and settlements, introducing horses, cattle, and new crops to the region. Conflict and disease, however, devastated local populations, forever altering the cultural landscape. Florida's strategic position made it a prize for rival empires. In the 18th century, control of the region shifted from Spain to Britain and back again, each power leaving its imprint through trade, architecture, and conflict. Spanish missions dotted the landscape. British traders built outposts, and new waves of settlers arrived, drawn by the promise of land and opportunity. The result was a cultural crossroads, a place where European ambitions collided with indigenous resilience and where African, European, and Native American traditions blended into something uniquely Floridian. As the 19th century dawned, Florida's future hung in the balance. The United States eyed the territory with growing interest, and in 1821, Florida officially became a U.S. territory. Statehood followed in 1845, making Florida the 27th state in the Union. But peace was fleeting. The Seminole Wars, 3 brutal conflicts between the U.S. government and the Seminole people, raged across the swamps and forests, leaving scars that would last for generations. The Seminole, refusing to surrender their land, retreated deep into the Everglades, becoming the only Native American group never to sign a formal peace treaty with the United States. The Civil War brought new turmoil. Florida, a Confederate state, was a land of frontier towns and plantations, its swamps hiding both soldiers and stories of struggle. Blockades choked off supplies, and battles raged in places like Olustee, where Union and Confederate forces clashed in the state's largest Civil War engagement. Through hardship and conflict, Floridians endured, their resilience tested time and again. In the aftermath, Florida began to change. Railroads snaked across the peninsula, opening the door to new settlers and industries. Citrus groves blossomed, cattle ranches expanded, and tourists, lured by tales of sunshine and healing springs, started to arrive. By the early 20th century, Florida was transforming from a wild frontier to a burgeoning vacation paradise. The 20th century brought waves of change. Developers drained swamps to build cities, highways, and resorts. Miami, once a sleepy outpost, exploded into a vibrant metropolis, shaped by waves of Cuban, Caribbean, and Latin American immigrants. Orlando became the theme park capital of the world, drawing millions of visitors to its magical attractions. The Kennedy Space Center rose on the Atlantic coast, launching astronauts toward the stars and cementing Florida's place in the history of human exploration. Yet, Florida's story is also one of nature's fury. Hurricanes, ever-present and unpredictable, have shaped both the land and its people. From the great Miami hurricane of 1926 to the devastation of Andrew and Irma, Floridians have rebuilt time and again, their spirit undimmed by disaster. The state's unique ecosystems, the Everglades, coral reefs, and ancient springs, remain both a treasure and a challenge, demanding stewardship and respect. Today, Florida stands as a land of contrasts. Glittering cities rise beside wild, untamed nature. Space shuttles soar skyward from Cape Canaveral, while fishermen cast lines in the same waters once paddled by ancient canoes. Festivals celebrate a dizzying array of cultures, from Cuban salsa in Miami to Greek sponges in Tarpon Springs. Florida's population is as diverse as its landscapes, drawing dreamers, innovators, and adventurers from every corner of the globe. Through it all, one thread remains constant: the spirit of reinvention and resilience. Florida is a place where myths are born, where history is written in the sand, and where the future is as bright as the sun rising over the Atlantic. From the ancient trails of the Timucua and Calusa to the launch pads of tomorrow's explorers, the epic story of Florida continues, dynamic, ever-changing, and uniquely its own. If you've been inspired by this journey from legend and struggle to modern marvel, remember to share your own stories and celebrate the vibrant tapestry that is Florida.